Moon gang. Hello. As you can tell, I'm about 85% of the way there. I'm almost recovered. I just need to shake out whatever the hell's going on in my sinuses right now. But folks, we are back at it again. Daniel, it is Monday, December 6th, and we're kicking off the first full week of trading of December. Let's get after it. We got some movers, we got some shakers, we got some shake and bakers going on today in the market. It seems like this morning is a morning of like quite a bit of news. So if you're watching the crypto market over the weekend, that sucks. It was not fun. I was just sitting there and it was dipping, and at one point people were buying the dip, but now it's still, I don't know what's going on, and we got to get some nice momentum built up, not only in the equities market but also in the crypto market. And I have a couple theories of really what's going on, I guess, in my own humble opinion, on the crypto market, and obviously I'll be sharing that in a bit. But let me get you guys all set up for the day. Let me get you all prepped up so you know what to expect when the bell goes ding 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 in about 25 minutes. So first of all, a little bit more green. So we have tech a little bit down, but the overall market and the Dow in the green. Oil right now trading at 68, bonds a little bit higher, so a little green, and let's just hope that we end up seeing more green by the time the market actually closes today. So what you need to know overall: Dow set to rebound after its worst weekly losing streak of the year. So I particularly think the Dow is a silly benchmark for the overall market. So we talk a lot about the S&P 500. That's 500 of the biggest companies within the US. The Dow is just 30. So to me, it's not a big enough data size. It's just like kind of like the 30 Goliaths of the US market. Then you have the NASDAQ 100. I like that. It's 100, but it's also a little bit more tech focused. And then of course you have the Russell 2000 small cap. So out of all of those, I glean more valuable data of what's going on opposed to like the Dow 30. It's just 30 big guys, and obviously there could be a disconnection between what 30 of the biggest companies are doing and the rest of the entire equities market. But regardless, yes, last week was very rough. We all lived that in real time. It was painful, and I hope you take some positive lessons from it. You learn about emotion control, risk tolerance control. It's not, I think a lot of people get into this game thinking you could buy and like it just goes up. No, there are going to be those bad periods, very red periods where everyone is getting hit, everything is getting hit, and you have to be nimble. You have to keep your emotions under control, stick to your trading plan. And also, I hope you've been here long enough that you start to realize that you can make money in more ways than just buying an equity and hoping that it goes up. There are many ways to make money in varying market conditions. So I'm hoping that you are employing some of those to help keep your P&L even at maybe like just above water, or hopefully even more green than it was before. So with the insanity in the market, and a lot of this has to relate to fears over the government. They could have shut down, they didn't shut down. Fears of what's going on with the unicorn flavor of the newest flu going around. We do have some positive updates on that, though. It seems to be not as severe for the people who've contracted it. So obviously some positive development there. But beyond it, obviously, inflation, along with bottleneck issues, supply chain issues, has been a serious downward pressure on the overall market. And a lot of this relates to Bitcoin. Bitcoin now down 30% from November's all-time highs. So yes, when you get in the world of crypto, and honestly many of the equities that we enjoy speaking about, there's a lot of volatility. Which means you have to be mentally prepared for it, but also your trading plan has to include the scenarios of how are you going to handle it, just so if the time does arrive, you know what you're going to do. Now with crypto, I think there's a couple things going on. First of all, with the Federal Reserve, and actually I believe this might be the next story, increasing the rate of tapering, that's going to make high risk assets such as crypto seem less favorable. So obviously that's not going to be the best for the price. On top of that, of course, there's always just generic regulatory concerns. Yes. You always have that nature in crypto when people are just over leveraged. So as soon as it goes down a little bit, they're actually down a proportionate rate more. So they get scared. So it's one of those things that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And also, we're in December, folks. I think you have some people intentionally trying to lock in some gains and some losses for tax purposes. This is what happens in this time of year. People are shuffling things around to get things to be the most advantageous situation they can for themselves because they have to do it within this month to like wrap up the tax year. But yes, it is down. It is down. It is down. For me, very, very similar to what's going on over here in El Salvador. The president with the country just bought another 150 coins. They are loading up on it. I'm in agreement. I didn't get it out of any of my crypto. I'm holding it. And I've been very, very clear about this. I think in crypto, the dips are to be bought. They're going to come around. You just have to be patient. I look at crypto as a long-term hold. Multiple decades down the road, I'll either be super right or super wrong, but I don't look at it as a short or medium-term play. Something drastic would have to happen for me to be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll lock in some gains here, wait for it to come back down and then rebuy, maybe something along those lines. But as of now, no way whatsoever. This is just par for the course, and I think it's a good learning lesson for people who haven't been involved in a 30% sell-off. Major shifts at the Fed could see speedier end to easy policies. So this is kind of interesting. Prior to November, the Federal Reserve set up a system that was buying $120 billion worth of basically bonds per month. So the idea was to taper that all the way down to zero to help battle inflation. They were doing it originally to help with unemployment. So in November, they cut that down by 15 million. And then they also announced that they want to do another 15 in July. So that would bring us, December. That would bring us down to that 90 million. And ideally, the tapering would be completed by that June-July timeframe. Well, now there's actually, instead of doing the increments of 15 billion, adding it up and up and up, they're actually thinking about doubling this up to 30 billion, which tells me, I guess, it's kind of interesting. I think they're, through this decision, signaling that they are actually like understanding how bad the inflation situation is getting out of hand. And they're going out of their way to speed things up to get a little bit more hawkish. So when the previous policies, the terminology that's going to be referred to that is dovish. So that's very, very good for, I guess, the unemployment number, but not so good for inflation. And then the opposite end of that is very hawkish, where you're kind of battling inflation, but your decisions might be negatively impactful to the unemployment number. But anyway, it seems like we're on this gradient of going from dovish to a little bit more hawkish. And when I say gradient, they were extremely dovish. Like they were as dovish as doves come. And now they're getting a little bit more hawkish. I would say to a notable degree that they're doubling this up. But this tells me that in those backdoor meetings, when they're talking about what they should do and they have access to all the data points and everything, I think this is a signal from Jerome Powell and probably Janet Yellen that no, like this inflation thing is actually pretty considerable, and they're trying to basically put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound and hope that that helps. But this does all interplay with everything else, what we're seeing in crypto, what we're seeing in the overall markets. This is all like one big concert, and you have to be able to connect the dots to see what's going on. On a bit of a positive note, health officials say early reports encouraging about unicorn. So basically, the symptoms seem to be not as severe. I believe even Dr. Fauci was saying that like the initial data points are pretty promising. So that's good news, and not so much related to the market. I guess in a certain way it could be because of political tensions. U.S. expected to announce diplomatic boycott of China's Winter Olympics. That very quickly seems like it's going to become a political bag of worms. But I just wanted to share this with you. If you're like me, I very much enjoy watching all the Olympics. I always think it's fun. But yeah, this is just something you need to know about. not related to any of that. Right here. There was more information. I just wanted to say, if you wanted to read this on CNBC, you could get more of the details. This was coming out last night. So it's just the Winter Olympics is not a stage for political show. It's just becoming a political mess. It is. And I'm probably not informed enough to have like fair commentary on it. But yes, I do think that everyone should try to get to that level. So please read, do your DD, similar to the market where you should be informed before making any decision. I don't think it's really that far off for any political commentary. Be informed. Do yourself a service by knowing about like what's actually going on. I think that's important for everyone. So no news on this, but this is kind of interesting. The New York Stock Exchange shakes up senior management with Lynn Martin replacing Stacey Cunningham as president. So the New York Stock Exchange, the biggest lit exchange, getting a new president. It'll be kind of interesting to see what Lynn Martin here is supportive and not supportive of. Worthwhile to dive into, but New York Stock Exchange getting a new president. Now, before I get into the specifics of like kind of AMC and GME, I thought it was always fun to just kind of start sharing other random things I find as I'm doing my news research. Risky levels. Australia is the drunkest country in the world, according to some survey. Now, what does this have to do with the market? Honestly, nothing. I just thought it was an interesting story to share with all of you that if you are in Australia, you are also in the drunkest country in the world. So yeah, I still thought it was important for me to share that with you. Beyond this, a little bit more stock related. A couple important things happening this week. So on Friday, we have the CPI Consumer Price Index. That's a good, I guess, data point for inflation that comes out on Friday. On Wednesday, we have GameStop's earnings report. Once again, that is on Wednesday. On Tuesday, the president of the US is speaking. Is he a president of Russia? He's speaking with Putin. Is he technically a president? I think he is. So that's on Tuesday. BuzzFeed is going live through a SPAC deal, but there's like almost no excitement behind that one. That's happening this week. And I thought I had one more thing for you. It's escaping me. It's escaping me right now. If it comes to me, just another like thing happening this week. But those are all things that might be of, I don't know, some level of importance to have on your own stock market calendar. Now let's talk about what's going on with AMC. We got some breaking news 2 hours ago. Adam Aaron. Given AMC's Spider-Man NFT success, our first ever NFT, I am thrilled to announce our second ever NFT. All self-identified AMC shareholders who are members of AMC Investor Connect and those who enroll by December 31st, 2021 will get this handsome NFT for free. And you have it right there. I own AMC. So there's some people, some negative Nancys out there, if you will, who are already like kind of, I don't know, they're being negative Nancys about it. And they're pointing out fair things, but hang on, let me explain what I think is going on. So yes, self-identified. If you go to AMC's Investors Connect, it's a checkbox. Do you own AMC? Yes or no? Yes or no. You just click. You don't put the amount you own. You don't put anything like that. There's no verified thing. So will the amount of NFTs given out somehow be a valid data point for potentially knowing how many shares are actually being on like traded on the market? No, not at all. Self-identified, and you just get one if you are an owner. So if anything, it's a closer count to the amount of unique individual owners rather than the amount of shares of AMC. That's not what this is for whatsoever. And there's a lot of people who are, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like pissed off about it. They're like, right now, I want everyone to have an NFT per share out there. Folks, this stuff does not happen overnight, especially when you have a cohort of people who are saying they exclusively want to do this to squeeze the shorts. You can't do it for that. Do you know how much of a legal nightmare that would be for Adam Aron and the entire leadership team at AMC, for everyone saying, we want this to squeeze shorts? And they're like, okay, well, you can't do that. That's manipulation. The way I see it, Adam Aron and the leadership team is leaving the breadcrumbs of one of these days when we actually get some sort of blockchain backed, like legitimate count of the shares. They're creating a history of, they're like, no, we've already been doing stuff like this. They can't go from not being involved in crypto and NFTs at all to doing this thing. And the only rhetoric on it is, we want to squeeze the shorts. That lawyers would have a field day suing AMC if that were the case. In my opinion, what's going on here is they're building up a legitimate history of saying, no, we're just kind of involved with the NFTs. This is how we do our thing. This was a natural progression step. I'm sure they have an entire team of lawyers looking over all of these decisions of what they're doing. And I'm assuming that this is the legal advice that they've been given, probably by SEC lawyers, of do it this way, do it this way. There are proper ways to do things. There are improper ways to do things. And to me, it seems like what Adam Aron is doing is all through the proper professional channel where we don't have to worry about any legal backlash. Is it happening as fast as we want it to? No, but that's life, folks. That's life. You're not going to get everything you want the moment you get it. I think that's a hard lesson for some people to truly accept, but hey, it's progressing in the right way. I have faith in not only Adam Aron, but the remainder of the leadership team. Same with Ryan Cohen and the remainder of the GameStop leadership team. I'm happy with this. We're seeing progression in the right direction. Are we taking leaps and bounds in the right direction? No, but we're at least slowly and surely stumbling in the right way. So I'm more than happy with it. So is this going to be the end all be all thing? Self-identified. No. You just click a box and you're going to get this NFT, and you have all the way up till December 31st to get it. So the data point involved in this particular thing, is that going to help us? No, not at first, but look at the writing on the wall. Look at the path that is currently being paved by Adam Aron and whoever is giving him this advice as we get further and further into crypto and blockchain. I think it's exciting. It's going to take time, but I definitely have faith in this leadership team. If you want a little bit more detail, you can find out the full posting here on Business Wire. For those of you who are a little bit more into wanting to know about the crypto side of things, they partnered up with WAX, Worldwide Asset Exchange. That's where it's going to be delivered through. Once again, WAX. If you search this, here's the title: AMC Theaters and Wax issue new exclusive I Own AMC NFT to all existing and new members of AMC Investor Connect. You can find this on Business Wire. You can also find it on AMC's website when they have their PR relations with investors. So if you want the full write-up of what is or isn't going on, you could check that out. I highly encourage you to check it out, especially if you're an owner of AMC. But on top of that, just so you know, if you are not signed up for this Investor Connect, you have up till December 31st. You literally just click a box and say, yes, you own AMC, and you will then be getting this NFT. A little bit after the market opens, I want to talk about Public, the exchange that I've been taught right here. This one. It's also pinned to the top of chat. You get free stock when you sign up, free trading. And what's so cool about this is we know it avoids market makers, but what's so incredibly cool is they're being as transparent as they possibly can be. They just, now that they don't do payment for order flow, they gave a full data breakdown of what's going on. Check this out. This stuff is wild. We currently execute across 28 different venues and execute 70 to 75% of our shares on lit exchanges. We executed the remainder on ATS almost entirely in the cases when we are able to find midpoint execution that is better than we'd find on lit exchanges. So a couple things to say here. On Public, where you just, as soon as you get it, you're good to go. You might want to turn off your share lending, which is just like an automated system. 70 to 75% is being executed on a lit exchange. This is very, very close to the Canadian trade at system I've been talking about. So basically in Canada, around like 10 to 15% don't go on lit exchanges. And the only reason they go off exchange, so right at that point, you have 85 to 90% that are on lit exchanges. The reason they go off exchange is the same reason of when you can find a material price improvement. That is a regulatory, like that's a rule. Like they are not allowed to give you a worse execution if they know they can get you a better execution somewhere else. But what's crazy about this, with that rule in mind, them trading on lit exchanges without payment for order flow, 70 to 75% of the time, they're getting a better price on lit exchanges. And that's not even in the Canadian system where it's set up for that. That's in the current US system where everything is set up to go off exchange. So the fact that they're already fighting against the grain and 70 to 75% of trades are already getting a better execution quality on lit exchanges, to me, the data presented in this write-up legitimately blows up the discussion of like what market makers are doing, and like it's so much incredible price improvement. I would not be surprised if this right here is the start of Public becoming the most dominant free trading brokerage. I really, really wouldn't at all. They are pulling it off. There is no payment for order flow. 75% are being traded on a lit exchange, and they're getting better execution on lit exchanges than anything else. This goes completely in the face of what Citadel tells us, what Virtu tells us, what mainstream media tells us of like, oh, like Robinhood and Webull, they're so good for everybody. This is how you get better prices. It's free. No, Public is free trading, and they pull it off on lit exchanges. The only time they go off of a lit exchange is when they're legally forced to, because they have a better midpoint execution. This is incredible. This approach is working. We're able to deliver better prices for our investors in aggregate than the payment for order flow based model. This is based largely on delivering significantly better prices for a meaningful percentage of our investors' order. I love this. This is so incredibly awesome. Once again, there's other information in here if you want to get into the weeds. There's a good chance I'll be speaking about this in more detail in the afternoon stream of going over the data and the data points. But the main takeaway that I'm like really getting from this is that you do not need to have payment for order flow to have better execution. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm happy to say that I've been on Public, I think, since August, I think is when I made my account. But yes, free trading, free to sign up. You get free stock when you sign up, and you can be confident knowing that you are getting very good execution 75% of the time on lit exchanges. But the other extra time, they're going to ATS. They're never, ever going to market makers. That's in the article. I highly recommend you check it out. If you want to find that article, you should go check out, I retweeted it, but it was a tweet from Dave Lauer, and he retweeted that blog post of the write-up of what's going on. But if you want to check out Public, it's pinned to the top of chat. They recently rolled out for a while, it was exclusively a phone app, but now they rolled out their web app. If you are an options trader, Public does not offer options, just to be like completely frank with all of you. If you enjoy options and you want to be an options trader, Public is not. It's just for stock. I think sometimes that's actually good, because I think sometimes when you don't even have access to options, maybe it'll be able to save you kind of like from yourself. If you find that you're trading options too much and continually losing money, you might want to be on something like Public, and in the meantime work on like a paper account for your options trading on something like, I don't know, TD or IB to really hone your levels. All right, now we have a couple minutes. I see a lot of people discussing Lucid. Lucid is down. Yes, there was some news on it right here. Lucid is trading lower on Monday morning after the company said it received a subpoena from the SEC requesting documents related to an investigation. So right there, that is not the only one. Tesla kind of a similar story. SEC has opened probe into Tesla related to whistleblower claims on solar panel defects. So Tesla, another SEC probe, this one for solar panels, and then Lucid announcing that they received another thing from the SEC. So both Lucid and Tesla getting some potentially worrisome news. Nothing's coming out of it yet. It might be one of those things where they get cleared and the stock bounces right back up, just so everyone knows. But both of them did receive information from the SEC that they are being investigated. Once again, that is Lucid and Tesla. Where are we at on Prague? All right. Actually, we have a minute left. Let me drop to the 1 minute. The bell's about to go ding, ding, ding. All right, let's see what kind of day we're going to have. It's been a rough go of it lately, but maybe some buyers are going to finally be stepping in. That would be nice. I mentioned this earlier, but for the people who are pouring in now, don't forget that GameStop has its earnings announcement on Wednesday of this week, December 8th. All right, let's get going. We have about 10 seconds till that bell goes ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. All right. Whoa, AMC out of the gate. Enthusiastic this morning. I like that. Tesla at 1,000, Rivian 105, Nvidia 296, Hood down to 21, Bitcoin 48,000, Ethereum 4,000, Solana 183, Matic $1.83, SHIB 34, Loopring $1.91, Cardano $1.31. Man, Cardano has been upsetting me. It's getting really beaten down, but I'm not getting out. I'm holding. Good morning. What EV dips look good for the long play? Trying to beef up my portfolio with a longer play. I still believe any major dips in Lucid and Tesla are to be bought, but you don't know that this is the extent of the dip, especially because like the market is still like a little bit precarious. So I still think it's worthwhile to like pay attention to. I just don't know if 9:31 on December 6th is like the time to buy the dip. You might get a better dip. What are you talking about, Burns? But like in newborns. Can I make a suggestion? Whenever we sing to sports level, I'd like to see videos of Moongate dancing in their pants played at stream plays. Or pics of their dogs. Burns, what's going on today, man? Are you okay? So some people asking about CFVI. So shout out to everyone on Rumble. So Rumble is going to hit the public market through a SPAC acquisition with CF Acquisition Corp, CFVI. Obviously, when it all goes through, the ticker will change. And if you own CFVI, you don't have to do anything. You'll end up just, it'll switch for you. But yeah, CFVI, ever since the announcement, some craziness. It was sitting at 10, currently at 14. People are excited about it. So this all relates to Rumble, a competitor to YouTube. So if you actually are on Rumble right now, shout out. Your stock's doing pretty well. Your stock is doing pretty well. What else do we have? Some people are asking about DWAC. DWAC is up today. There was actually some news right here. Digital World Acquisition shares are trading higher after the company said it raised $1 billion of investment to fund the business. So they got some funding. So some positive news right there for DWAC. I currently have no DWAC position, just so everyone knows. I don't have any CFVI. I am obviously long on AMC. I'm long on GME, but I don't own either of these two on the bottom. I'm curious. The Qs are having a struggle today. The Qs are struggling. Man, oh man, this overall market. So right now we have an inside day. On Friday, it was a bit wild. It ended up like recovering a bit at the end of the day, which I like. But right now, no obvious trend. We have support at 453. We have resistance at 460. We're at 455 and some change. We have to wait. There is no obvious trend in the market. The Qs are notably weaker. So you see some money leaving more of these high growth. So it tells me a little bit people are getting like concerned. You're seeing that also in yields. And then also right here, the Russell. It sold off. Hopefully it can catch itself, but this has been getting absolutely hammered. Unfortunately, this, in my book, is like really what's dragging AMC with it, because AMC is the biggest equity within this particular basket of stocks, the entire Russell 2000. So when you see the entire Russell selling off, that's naturally going to drag AMC with it. Wow. Come on. The markets, what are you doing today? Fortunately, at least AMC is trying to fight against the grain today, fight against that basket that it's in. You don't see this too often, so I'm hoping the Russell can turn and just help push it up. Talk about Citadel's tweets and comments killed me. Did they just recently tweet? Citadel Securities. Their tweets, I'm not seeing a recent tweet from them. Congratulations on all partners who listed on the New York Stock Exchange in November. We're proud to be your designated market maker. I think it must have been through some other, I guess, like medium. J. Cool. What, I guess, like social media medium were they on? Oh man, things are going red. Are we gonna have another bloodbath of a day? Where are the buyers in this thing? This is just, it's so red. The market selling, the Russell selling, and then it ends up dragging everything with it. Who is John? All right, well, we're gonna kick him for spamming. Paper hands. I invested in a movie theater during a virus pandemic. Just in case you're keeping score, AMC is up 1,200% on the year. So if you bought it at the start of the year, you're up an ungodly amount. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget some cold hard facts of how much AMC and GME are up on the year. Matt, I get you can't tell people what to do and diversity is good, but if everyone focused on AMC, knocked it out, then moved, would work. What are your thoughts? I don't agree with that. I've been in the market for long enough to know that to be myopically focused like that, especially with your finances, like all of your money on one thing, it's just not a proper way to engage in the market. If you want to, that's fine, but I don't know. I've had this channel for long enough that like there's so many cool things going on day in and day out. I guess I don't know what you mean. If we all focus on AMC, that sounds like manipulation. That sounds like everyone's like, oh, we're all going in on this. Everyone has to buy it. Everyone buy it now. And that's like what this community does. That would get shredded apart. You buy things that you think have value. That's, if you think something is undervalued, whether fundamental or any other reason, you buy it if you think it's undervalued. I have my AMC, I have my GME, I have a myriad of other equities and cryptos because I think there's things that are undervalued that I'm more than happy to hold for whatever amount of time. And I don't know, this concept of like you can only talk about one thing. I guess I just don't get it. Your audience is here for an AMC squeeze. Know your audience. You might be, David, but there's actually many people who are in here. They want to pay attention to GameStop. And then I even have new viewers who actually don't even have AMC or GME, and they want to know what's going on in the overall market, or they want to talk about crypto. So David, you might be here specifically for that, but that's like you, and like it's almost like oddly selfish. I mean, David, like look how many people are like yelling at you right now. That's what's so cool about the market. I love the market because there's always opportunity. You just have to know where to look. There's so many people in here who like, yeah, maybe you first found out about what was going on with AMC and GME, but there's so many cool things to learn about. There's so many cool ways to make money. And for me, it's like this big puzzle of, can you figure out like what's going on in the world? Are you making a good bet on like the future trajectory of society, of culture, of technology, of whatever industry? To me, it's a gigantic puzzle. I don't know. I'm just so passionate about it, and I like this whole thing. And that's why I get so particularly angry when I see these things of manipulation and insider trading and just like abuse, because they're ruining it. That's why I care so, like, that's why I was fascinated with the story of AMC and GME, because I'm so passionate about the market itself and what it represents. And then when I see people like breaking that game and cheating on that game, it's frustrating because they're ruining it for themselves and for everyone else. It's so incredibly frustrating, especially like when I like truly care about the market, because like I like symbolically what it represents. Like the market, there have been very few things in the history of humans that helps you build wealth and go from like one financial class to the other, like Wall Street. Like it's tough to come up with something that helps you transition your financial class so efficiently and so quickly like Wall Street. So I'm not here to say like down with Wall Street. No, I think it's one of the coolest things ever to help people in their lives. And then when there's people that are abusing that system and ruining it for everyone else, well, that's like what's particularly frustrating. And we so obviously saw that with GameStop in January. Like people who were trying to ruin the game for everyone else got caught, and that's what it led to it. And not long after that, people started to point out issues with AMC. But if you think that these illicit acts exclusively belong to AMC and GME, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this type of stuff happens all the time. And also, if you just think if you don't even care about that, if you're like, okay, like whatever, that's like idealistic, like good luck with your like fight, Matt, but I'm just here to make money. Okay, there's a lot of other ways to make money besides AMC and GME, especially in these periods of consolidation that like we've seen for certain weeks, certain months. If something's consolidating, like you're not going to be making that much money on it. So no matter what you're in it for, there's a much bigger world than AMC and GME. I love AMC. I love GME. Of course, they have a special place in my heart, but it would be reasonable, I guess, at a certain sense, to give AMC and GME updates if I did like video uploads and like it was just like a daily upload. But folks, I stream for hours a day. It's just people are going to get bored to death if I like exclusively watch stocks that like some days are doing nothing. When you're streaming and you have a show and you're talking about what's happening in the market, you have to talk about what's happening in the market. Some days that involves AMC and GME. Other days it doesn't, because some days they're just not the news of the day. So I have such a passion for what's going on in the market and sharing my knowledge of it and hanging out with all of you and all of you awesome people. A lot of people are in here because they want to know what's the movers and the shakers of the day and what's the news of the day and how can they use that to make more informed decisions. And what does it actually mean without mainstream media lying to them? So many people, I think in the most general sense, people are here to improve their life, most likely their financial life. Like if we were to get a little bit more specific, to me, it's weird that people are acting the only way you can improve your life is from AMC and GME. Well, but like, why? Like, I applaud people. I'm in AMC, I'm in GME, I'm also in many other things. I'm in Apple, I'm in Microsoft, I'm in Tesla, I'm in DraftKings, I'm in crypto, I'm in a lot of crypto. Whenever I see people who are successful in this, I seriously congratulate them. They took a risk and they improved their life. Last week in the Discord, they were killing it on Alibaba and on Apple. I said Alibaba and Apple. Neither have anything to do with AMC or GME, but they made money. They made a very good trade. They had good technicals. They had good reasoning. Congratulate them. Like, that's so cool. Like, folks, if you're watching this, you weren't born into that 1%. You weren't born into the silver spoon situation in your life. Like, we're all on the same side of it. And then all of a sudden, when someone's so fortunate to take a step to like improve things, what, people are trying to claw them down because of like some weird jealousy that they made money in a way that like you just didn't catch? Ask them. Don't be mad at them. Ask them what they saw and how they did it, so maybe you can do it the next time. It's, I don't know. This is, I guess to put it simply, this is not an AMC and GME show. I will talk about AMC. I will talk about GME because I think they show clear signs of manipulation. I think they show clear signs of opportunity, but they are not the only things in this world that show opportunity or manipulation. And when I see opportunity or manipulation, I'm going to talk about it. Forgot Matt talks about Crtx instead of stocks. I mean, I was answering Chris's question. This channel has only one goal: get this video to 6969 likes. Shout out Cole. My portfolio is up over 45% since I started listening to you, Matt. I appreciate that you discuss a myriad of stocks. Please keep doing you. Shout out Stacy. I always will. Literally always will. I thought this was a relationship advice channel. What are my thoughts on the crypto discount? My thoughts on the crypto discount are it's exactly that, but I do think in the short term, there might be a better discount in the short term. So medium term, long term, still bullish. But right now, just looking at these charts, I see a little bit of heaviness. See how they're all like kind of bouncing. I want to see how they all react to the next level of support and see if we have some buyers there. I'm particularly interested in Avalanche. Avalanche has nice support at $80. I'm a fan of Avalanche. I don't own any Avalanche yet, but I'm thinking finally, I've been waiting. I didn't want to buy it at an all-time high. I might finally get that opportunity to get a nice price average on Avalanche. Can you please explain maintenance margins? I'm about to get called. So yeah, this is a risk model that brokerages are going to have, and they might compute it in a separate manner. But it's basically how much money you have to have in your account based on how much your brokerage is currently lending you for that position. So it's really a risk balance for the brokerage of like, okay, like they're betting this much and they have this much in their account. So if the bet starts to go against them, like we might require a bit more money. So if the positions go in your favor, you're going to trend away from your maintenance margin line. And if it goes the other way, you might have to like deposit some extra money in your account. Can you take a peek at Palantir and MMTTR? Been blessing. I don't have to see the next support. Is that MMTR seems cheap right now. All right, so Palantir. I'd be watching 1750 on Palantir. Palantir is getting pretty beat up. We were talking about this, and actually, this was an unusual whales alert last week. A $15 put on Palantir, so that's actually paying some nice money. I didn't personally take that trade. I would be watching the support at 1750 MTTR Matterport. My first gut instinct is to watch 20 on this one. I guess you could say it's actually at some support right now. So you said that it's cheap, but it's actually still like kind of pretty high from like at $10. I think this was a previous SPAC acquisition. I mean, it's still up a pretty nice percentage. So I don't know like what is or isn't cheap. I don't know anything about the revenue or the cash flow for this particular company. So it'd be tough for me to say like what's cheap or not cheap. From a technical perspective, it's at support now. If it can't hold 2350, I'd be then watching 2050. But for it being quote unquote cheap or not, I would have to dive into the fundamentals and look at its competitors. You often talk about having a plan for every trade. Does bloodbaths like we have affect that just hold for the rebound? Yeah, it actually does affect that, because technically you should have that trading plan where you get out, whether you capture your profits or you hit your risk tolerance before you're a member of said bloodbath, and then you have the capital to buy the dip when demand starts to return. So the entire point of having that trading plan is to like avoid the bloodbaths. Like you don't want to be involved in it. Well, I guess maybe another way I could put that though is like maybe your trading plan is I'm not selling this no matter what. So then you have to already know that even if there is a bloodbath, well, you told yourself that you're not selling no matter what, so it doesn't matter. So I guess you could look at it in even a higher level view of where if you have the plan, you know how you're going to react in any situation. So maybe your plan is to get out at a certain percentage drop, or like I said before, maybe you're super happy with whatever it is that you're in, that you're just going to hold and hold and hold no matter what. So then you don't even care about said bloodbath. And I guess that in a certain sense would be like, I guess coming back to the whole diamond hand methodology. If you know you're diamond handing a certain stock, okay, if it's green or red, it just doesn't matter. You really, if you're diamond handing that trading plan, that's incredibly easy. You don't need to watch the chart at all. Like very legitimately, if you're diamond handing AMC or GME, like, do you need to watch the chart? Like, do you need to pay attention to AMC or GME at all? You could pay attention to the market for other things, but if you already know you're diamond handing, what does it matter if it goes up or down? Like, if anything, that's just taking time from your day and it's draining your emotional energy. If you already know you're not going to sell, whether we're up 10% or down 10%, at a certain point, what's the point in even watching the chart then? Think they can ruin me with a minus 30%. Once I had a pet rock found on the beach, carried it around for months, took it to the bath with me, and it was dog shit. Oh man. Check out HUDI, bought last week. More tendies for AMC. Trading is halted on the uptrend. All right, HUDI, we'll have to check that out. Shout out Charlie. HUDI, crushing this trade from last week. What is this? I don't even know like what sector this is in, but you're getting a nice push above. If he can hold above 20, this is looking great. Congrats, man. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, but you're crushing it. Bought pen and PayPal calls for June 2022 last week while you weren't talking about AMC. Up 20% on both. T-Hill, crushing it. Congratulations, man. Matt, I made over 1,000% on my 950 puts on Tesla. Let's go, unusual whales. Brian, crushing it. Shout out Matt Pickering. I have to check that song out. Haven't been in the channel since really the June AMC madness. Did you enjoy some of the earnings? No, I mean, I recently actually had that on Twitter. I mean, I'm not really locking anything in. I'm in it. I'm also, I mean, money or no money, I'm not a person who really, I don't know. I don't really have too many like hardcore materialistic desires of like, oh, I want this car or something like that. I think there's a lot of people, particularly guys, who when they like get money, like they buy themselves a nice car. Folks, I still have the same Corolla. In fact, my Corolla, the side mirror recently just got the like shit destroyed out of it by another car. So I need to go get that fixed. But folks, my big purchase in this year of my YouTube and like, let's call it financial success. You want to know what my big purchase is? It's my work computer. I spent $4,000, $5,000 on this computer that I'm currently using. That was my big purchase. I don't know. I guess maybe I go out to eat more, but I don't know. I don't do vacations. I don't buy things. I don't know. It's just not me. I like my Corolla. I like my life. I don't need other things. If anything, I think the coolest thing about some of this is like if you use capital as a tool, it's opened certain doors of things I've wanted to do in my past. I have like some ideas in the back of my head of some like data platforms that I thought would be very useful. But when it comes to data platforms, it's very expensive to pay engineers, to pay for the data, to pay for the fees, like all of that type of stuff. So I kind of look at it like that of when I see money coming in, I'm like, okay, time to pay off student debt and then time to save money to build another platform that I think could be beneficial to a lot of like retail people. I guess that's the way I'm. I don't really like a things kind of a person. I'd rather buy or spend money on like an event, like to go to a cool concert, to go to a cool like stand-up show, to see a Broadway show, to go out to eat. But like to buy things, I move too much. I move too much to buy more things. $20 years old and 451 shares of AMC. Let's hope I can get rich young. Shout out. See there. Wait, you mean to say with no spending, your wallet has increased in density? I mean, in a certain way, I suppose I spend. I spend by switching it over to my brokerage account and just buying stock that I like. AMC not leaving. Love you, Matt. By the way, 10K ETH by end of December. DK records. That means that Ethereum is about to have a very wild December. If in the next, 25 days, it shoots up 6,000 more. After MOAS, YOLO, it all on weeklies, LOL, JK. After the MOAS, like just double or nothing. Take it all to the roulette wheel. Why is this not loading? Hello? Ortex? Ortex is thinking. All right. Oh, hang on. Hello? Okay, there we go. So here are the Ortex updates. This one is for AMC. The estimated short interest is actually increasing. We're at 17.5%. This is slowly but surely been going up and up and up ever since November 23rd till now. At one point, hang on, we went from 15.25% all the way up to 17.44% right now. That's for AMC. And then for GME, let me give you the same thing. Hang on, I think I have to reload this page. Estimated to be at 11.45%. It went from 8.26 up to 11.45 in roughly that same time period. So we're seeing the trend of AMC and GME short interest go higher and higher and higher. Very thus far today, super strange action. We completely sold off and then bought right back up, like just a weird V-shaped thing going on. To be honest, I'm worth $500,000 yet I walk around like a hobo. Shout out DK. All right. Hey, what's going on? Don't forget, we do have a backup channel. I saw some people saying that YouTube was lagging for them a bit. We're multi-streaming right now to Twitch, Matt_Kohrs, and then also Rumble. Check out Rumble. Rumble is the one that's getting a lot of people excited because it is going public and it's becoming a very legitimate competitor to YouTube. At this moment in time, December 2021, it is smaller. It's about 1/10 of the size, but as there are an increased amount of complaints of censorship from big tech and things along those lines. I mean, I've seen it myself. I've been terminated from YouTube 3 times for something I never did. Videos that I am being lied to, mainstream media and big tech. And Rumble was created in the idea that, hey, we don't like that. We are going to fight against that. And we are going to let people, as long as it is still within the letter of the law, we're going to give people freedom of speech. Look at that. Literally, I'm getting lagged right now as I say it. That's insane. As soon as I start talking about it, it like gets messed up on YouTube. That's nuts. So yeah, check it out. Oh, folks. I posted something on TikTok. How do you even get into it? Can I even get in on the web? TikTok.com? I think so. View profile. Ooh, my TikTok has 8 views. Man. You can say I'm pretty much a TikTok influencer. 8 views. I bet that's some sort of record. That's probably a record. Does anyone on TikTok have more than 8 views? Because like that's pretty good. Pretty good. 8 views. Prague will be $100 billion company one day. Today, I'm just glad it's approaching green. Been rough on us Praguers. Yep, I am right there with you. I am still personally holding my Prague. I mean, any of these things, like if I get out, I'm going to let you know. Like I'm not going to keep you in the dark. It's getting hit pretty hard. Right now, it's at a nice level of support around 230. Obviously, we also have this bull flag going on, 2 parallel lines, one on the top, on the bottom. It's in this downward channel. We're waiting for it to kind of break to the upside. But what it's really coming down to right now, and I think a lot of people are trying to get like understand the narrative of their individual equity, when in reality, I'm begging you, pay attention to the overall market right now. The overall market is 100% what is like driving everything that's like happening. There's money flowing in, there's money flowing out. That's definitely what we should be paying attention to. It's not going to be particular, I guess, in a certain sense, to an individual equity when you have like the insanity of what's happening in the SPY, in the Qs, and in the Russell. Amazing price on Prague, added another 2,000 shares. Shout out Gorilla Champ. Matt, is there a gap fill play on Tesla? $900 from October 25th. This is a great question. Yes. I have October 22nd. Oh, okay. You're just, yeah. Between the 22nd and the 25th, I have a $910. Gaps statistically get filled. And I don't think Tesla will be any different. Have we talked about the AMC NFT? Yes. Yes, we have. I made a quick little standalone video on it. If you want to check that out, that's already posted on the main YouTube channel. But basically, it's not going to be the thing that drives. Like, I mean, it's. You can look at Adam Aaron's tweet. The right here of why this is a good step, because they're getting more into NFTs and giving their supporters NFTs, but why this particular one is not going to, I guess, expose any illicit action is because self-identified AMC shareholders. So if you're just a shareholder, you get it. It has no direct connection to the amount of shares you own. So it's cool. And to me, they're laying the foundation. They're laying the brickwork of what is necessary to one of these days get all the shares tracked on a blockchain, on a legitimate verified ledger. To me, this is just another step in the right direction. So I like the concept of where we're going, but this particular step, it's self-identified, and it's just, if you are an owner, you get the NFT. You literally just click a box on Investor Connect. Like when you sign up for your account, you just say, do you own stock? You click yes or no. Amazing price on AMC, added another 500 shares. Shout out Gorilla Champ. Matt, what do you think about HNT miners? I just got one. Is that the actual hardware? What are the specs on this one? The mining HNT's People Power Network. Start a wireless revolution. Is a HNT is a cryptocurrency earned when hotspots provide and validate wireless coverage and transfer device data over the network. Whoa, that's a really cool idea. HNT is mined and distributed to hotspot owners, Helium Inc., and investors. So as people are using the hotspot, that's kind of cool. I like the concept. I don't have one myself, but I like the, I guess, tactic that the team is going for there. That's pretty cool. Seems like a low price for them to be piling into shorts. Are they screwing us in the short term by screwing themselves harder when price rebounds? Yeah, the more shorts there are, there's more powder in the keg for the explosion. So if more shorts get in now and they don't get out, yeah, it's more powder in the keg. Matt, it's TikTok. You need to put on a thong, play some silly, stupid funk music, and dance terribly around a supercar to get views. As long as my thong says AMC, I'll do it. As long as it says apes. I just needed to say apes. That's what we need to do. Is like we need to, a new tactic for this community. Who are those like the biggest TikTokers? What's her name? The like the D'Amelio sisters or whatever their name is, like those girls that are huge and don't they like Dunkin' Coffee or something? We need to get them on board with AMC. Or we need to go after the biggest people on all distinct forms of social media. So like the D'Amelio sisters on TikTok. We need to go after like The Rock on Instagram. We need to go after like Mr. Beast on YouTube. Like we just need to get the biggest people within like whatever their like particular social media is. We need to get them all on board. Island Boys. Yeah, we need to get the Island Boys on board with us. Imagine that. You guys want the squeeze to come? Someone just needs to tell the Island Boys about movies. Imagine that. A TikTok with the Island Boys, like them singing us an AMC song. Tommy Such, I beg to differ. I was banned for dancing in pink thong. Is the AMC NFT Ethereum based? I think it was through Wax. I think it was brought by Wax. Man, GME getting hit hard today. That's not good for my GME position. GME currently trading at 163.55, down 5%. AMC's trading at 28, down 3.4%. The Russell tried about like it sold off, bounced, and it's showing some strength now. Same with the SPY. The Qs, the tech heavy Qs, a little bit lagging behind. We're looking for AMC to like kind of get going here. So we know Tesla. There was some SEC solar panel probe worries there, down 3.7%, trading at 979. We have Lucid that is actually bouncing off of 38.50 all the way back to 42. They also announced that they're being investigated by the SEC. Nothing has come out yet. They're just the probes have started, the investigation has started, but it's not like they've necessarily uncovered like malicious activity. Ricky Gutierrez hired the Island Boys to do an ad for his LPP trading course. That's pretty funny. I like that. I think that's what we should do as a community. We should hire the Island Boys to just preach the gospel of the apes. AMC jockstrap TikTok video. I dare you. I don't even know where you would get a custom made jockstrap, but I would do it. What are my thoughts on Crtx? Short interest is 50%. That's interesting. Oh, but it's also, there's no buying on it. So like when you have high short interest, like, okay, that might be a checklist, but like to get them squeezed out, you need people buying, and just no one's really buying this thing. It was 120. What happened to this company? It was 120. Now it's trading at 12. It's lost 90% of its value since August. Like this thing is getting demolished. It looks like it's probably being shorted for like a legitimate reason. It's about to hit a new all-time low. My thoughts on this are just avoid it. All right, look at this. The Russell waking up. So is AMC. Lucid waking up. GameStop lagging a bit behind at 165. How's Prague doing? Let's throw a Prague. All right, maybe we'll get that push to 240. There we go, AMC. All right. Jacob Pittman. Tesla puts last week were definitely insider trading. Yeah, that was super weird, and because it didn't make sense on the chart at all, but the fact that it played out, something was a little suspect with those Tesla puts. What's up with ATER compared to the rest of the market? What is up with ATER compared to the rest of the market? Do they have any news? ATER. I'm not seeing any news on ATER. How's it look on the daily? Well, it's at least good that it's having a green day for once, because it's been beaten down. You want to see it overcome 477, and then from there you can pay attention to 580 and then 630 is what I'd be watching on that. But AMC is looking great right now. We got that nice pop above 28, and it quickly ran all the way up to 29. AMC about 20 cents away from going green on the day, showing some strength. I like that. I like that. I like that. Exactly. But you know what doesn't get their interest? Payment for order flow talk. Oh man, how come every time apes go so close to getting you completely bail on? How do we do that then? Oh, for the like the celebrity people? Well, yeah, the payment for order flow is not going to interest them. Like, I think we need to talk about it because it's important to like understand the issue. I mean, do you know how many people still think that 50 to 60% of trading is done on dark pools? And like when I see that, it like just absolutely breaks my heart. For us to win this, we have to be like accurate, and we have to be very technically precise and clearly know what we're talking about. But in terms of getting someone like that, I mean, I agree with you, Brendan. They're not gonna, like, you're not gonna get an island boy to sponsor your project and talking about payment for order flow. Someone bought some AMC. Now, so this is kind of interesting. With AMC, that green bar, buying is buying. You don't know if it's a short covering. You don't know if it's someone creating a long position. Buying is buying. It looks the same on the chart. Yeah, you can. What? It's fine on Twitch. It's fine on Rumble. YouTube has been having serious stream problems lately. Like over the past. This is so frustrating. This whole time that this happens, like I have a little like health metric thing over here. It just says excellent connection. Like, what's going on YouTube? I feel like we're just always being gaslit by YouTube. If you could just give it a quick refresh. I don't know what's going on. Oh, so incredibly frustrating. I'm back in 144p. Sick. So it says as of now 1017 stream health is excellent. How is that possible? Oh wow. Oh, YouTube. Is the quality still super low? Someone said they got me back in 1080. Oh, it's lagging again. Now it's back. Like, what could this even be? What could it be? What could it be? Well, YouTube servers are having issues, my guess. Well, if you want, just so you know, it's also on Twitch. It's also on... Quit giving YouTube such a hard time. They're still a pretty new company working out some quirks. Someday I think YouTube will be big. We'll see. Oh, I love it. It goes from telling me that it's about to drop my stream to having an excellent connection. So I feel like YouTube just can't make up its mind. I blame solar flares. Oh, very quickly, folks. I know it's annoying, but I have to remind you, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. It helps me out. It's the only thing I ask for. Liking, subscribing, completely free. It just helps out with the algorithm, helps get my videos, my channel promoted to other people. So if you haven't already, I know sometimes it's a pain to make your account or whatever, but like I said, it's free. You just hit that big red button, subscribe, and you're good to go. Thank you. It means the world to me. Someone just asked me, is AMC done? Is AMC done? Did you just, it bounced off of 27 all the way up to 29 like it was nothing after like a huge like volume pop. The market is coming back, IWM coming. We need the market to go green. There's been a clear direct relationship between AMC and everything else. So as long as the market can somehow rebound base and like start to push higher, the odds of AMC doing the same are like much greater. All right, we're even seeing GME right now catching a bit of a bid, trying to push that 170 level. Sweet. To the two people who just subscribed, I love you. I love you so much. You made my day. Those 2 new subscribers, 2 new astronauts. Make some seats for them. If you're sitting there on the rocket and you have some space by you, like if you're one of those people who has a bag and you're like putting the bag in the seat, hey, free up 2 new seats for the newest people. JMS Performance, you're welcome. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I know some people, actually, I probably had around like 75 DMs this weekend of people who have been unsubscribed from me. Please know I read your DMs. Also, please know that I reached out to YouTube again for like the 4th time, and they have, for the 4th time, reassured me that they don't unsubscribe anyone. So please understand that if you have been unsubscribed from my channel, it is your fault and not YouTube's. You woke up in the middle of the night, completely like unknown to you. You were unconscious. You logged into YouTube, you found my channel, and you hit unsubscribe. Because YouTube doesn't do that. It is not their fault. It is your fault. You might want to, I guess, install a security system and see if you have been like sleep unsubscribing from maybe other channels, because it seems as if YouTube thinks that's more unlikely than a software issue on their end. I just want that to be completely, like, it's your fault. It's not YouTube's fault. It is your fault. They've insured me of it. They would never ever do that to anyone. It's your fault. Young Jin Yang, shout out for becoming an astronaut. Hey, Deco taught my nephew at college to say Nita when confronted by a jerk. Absolutely amazing life advice. Great job. Long bacon wrap dates. Oh, miles away knows what's up. Matt, if AMC hits 40 by Friday, we on Twitch think you need a hot tub stream. We can make that happen. If AMC hits 40 by Friday, I'll figure out how to do a hot tub stream. Can't you make a list of all the people that DM'd you Google's accounts and provide them on YouTube so they can go digging? I did. I showed them all. I'm like, hey, this person and this person and this person. And they said, oh, that's interesting. And that was it. That was YouTube's support system helping me. Thanks for what you do, Matt. After months of watching you, finally joined as a member. I appreciate that. That's so incredibly kind. I was thinking that it was super fun on Friday. I don't know if you guys caught Friday's like afternoon stream, but even though I felt like how I sound right now, Friday's stream was one of the most like entertaining ones. I think we need to do more reaction based things. So whether you want me to react to YouTube videos or TikToks or get my opinion on something. So what you could do, because like we don't want to spoil it. Like you can't send it to me because then I'm going to watch it and then you're not going to get my real-time reaction. AMC is looking great right now. It just got back above 30, so everyone's well aware. So if you're in the Discord, you can send it to like Cosmic or Austin. But then if you're somewhere else in the interwebs and you want to like me to react to something, send it to the Twitter page Moon Gang Merch. And then the merch guy will look at it and then like send me the ones that I should react to because we have to make sure that they're appropriate. But like I was trying to think about that. Like, so I don't want you to send it to me because then you're not going to get my real life reaction. So let's do that. Yeah, send it to the Moon Gang merch page on Twitter. Anything, TikToks, Vines, YouTube videos, anything of that nature. Moon Gang merch Twitter. And then we'll do like segments in the morning streams. I honestly tried to mail you a hot tub a few months ago, but your P.O. box was unable to accept it due to its size. Shout out, Dave. Someone laughed at Vines. Vine is when our internet peaked and then Twitter ruined it. Twitter bought Vine, and at that point, Twitter was doing very poorly, so they didn't have the resources to keep Vine going, so they let it die. Vine was where it was at. Like, obviously where it's at. AMC going to 30? It's at 30. The Mike and Brian show. Shout out Mike and Brian. You're not getting any of these now. Brendan, I'm getting them. Did you say something? Can you update the AMC short status? So right now it's at 17.6%. And expectations, their expectations is that it goes down to like 0. And our expectations is that it explodes to the moon. So it depends whose expectations. I think in the short term, to give you a little bit more of like a thoughtful answer, I think in the short term, the shorts are going to have an issue because I think everything that I'm reading and the data related to the new Spider-Man movie, which comes out in 10 days, December 16th, everything about it is that it's going to be the best movie of the year. This movie is going to blow people's socks off. And does one movie... like, is that going to be something that saves a movie theater chain? No, but you have to put it in the series of what's going on. Yes, it means that people are still going to the movie theater. Put it on the back of the success of the second Venom movie, Black Widow, Shang-Chi. We have other movies coming out in the near term, I believe. Isn't the second Top Gun movie coming out? When you look at it in the entire story, it's looking pretty good. Will one movie make or break a movie theater chain? No, but this is another feather in the cap of success in the box office. Matrix, the next Matrix, the 4th installment of that is coming out. So when you look at the entire story, it's a very good story, especially in the medium term that we're paying attention to right now. So I personally believe that the trend of the box office is not favorable to the shorts, but depending on what's going on with the market, it might not matter. the market dragging everything down is exactly that. It's dragging everything down. So we need more days like this of the S&P 500 currently up 1%. We need the market to bounce. I think it could happen. Yes, there's obviously supply chain issues. There's obviously inflationary issues. But don't forget, we also have seasonality on our side. This period until about the first week of January it's bullish. It's a bullish period. So seasonality is on our side. Let's hope that concerns over inflation don't get out of hand. Let's hope that Yellen and Powell do their job efficiently and logically and get our economy back to where it should be without like rocking the boat too much. There's all these talks about doubling up on their tapering efforts, which, hey, we got to seriously battle inflation. We can't. What's so silly, and what I think their misstep was, and they were seeing it with them on the large scale of our economy, but you also see it on like a super small scale of a streamer like me. Folks, people are very good at sensing out bullshit, at smelling out bullshit. I strongly believe humans have a strong sixth sense of knowing when people are lying to them or not lying to them. So this entire time when Powell and Yellen were like, oh, it's transitory, don't worry about inflation, don't worry about inflation, people were like, what? Like, one of us is on drugs and it's not me, buddy. That type of a deal. And now that they're a little bit more realistic of like, okay, we're not going to say transitory. In fact, we're going to decommission that word. We're being a little bit more realistic about inflationary pressures. People just want honesty. And that's what's crazy. Like, in a certain sense, am I happy for my own career, my own finances that this took off, that my channel took off, that I have made the Matt Kohrs brand? Yeah, that's awesome. But when I really think about it, I find it honestly disheartening. Like, I really do. Of like, I fulfilled a certain niche in the market of like, okay, there was like this niche and Matt Kohrs, like, he capitalized on it. He started streaming when people weren't streaming. He started talking about stocks that other people weren't talking about in a streaming format. He started talking about market manipulation and explaining it in hopefully an easy to understand manner. I get it. From a business perspective, there was a need and I fulfilled that need. But folks, the fact that that need was even there, like I say, it's actually disheartening. I think, and I don't think this, like many people have like straight up said it to me, the fact that we don't trust in so many people who we're supposed to rely on, the fact that there's like a general level of animosity towards the Secretary of Treasury, towards the Federal Reserve, towards mainstream media, the fact that so many people feel more comfortable in getting their news and their opinions and this, like, creating this community around someone who, like, folks, I'm 27. I have a lot to learn about the market. If you're here thinking I'm some sort of market expert, guru, clairvoyant, like some, like, I guess Warren Buffett that has billions of dollars from successful trades, no. I still have a lot to learn about trading. But fortunately, my paychecks don't come from mainstream media. My paychecks don't come from Wall Street. And my paychecks do not come from, I guess, like the political establishment. And the fact that so many of you know it, you're like, well, at least he's being honest. I don't have any overarching, it's just me, folks. It's just me. I'm not getting so many of these people, like obviously Powell, getting paid by whoever the Federal Reserve gets paid from. You have Yellen getting paid from the government. You have mainstream media who have their sponsors of big banks and Rona providers and all of this. It's just so sickening and disheartening at certain points in time that you're seeing the rise in individual brands, not just me, let's talk about individual brands across social media in general. And it's because people are getting so sick and tired of what's been there. And what's crazy about it is they don't see that coming at all. One of the craziest stories I heard about over the weekend. If you haven't heard of Mr. Beast, he's like a top YouTuber. He's a guy who's changed the YouTube game. He's highly impressive, and it's just, he's so good at what he does. There's a lot of like jokes going around about it that he'll be like YouTube's first billionaire. So recently, Mr. Beast, that Netflix show Squid Game, he recreated that in real life. Obviously, he didn't have contestants murder each other, but it's cool. It's on YouTube. Check it out, Mr. Beast Squid Games. It's crazy, and all of his stuff is always crazy good. Mr. Beast, within one day of posting that video, he had more views on that video than I have in my entire lifetime, and I almost have 60 million views. He posted a video. That's the saying. He broke the internet. In one day, that video had more views than my channel has in existence. And in 2 days, it had more views than Trey's and mine put together. And that was in 2 days. So obviously, he has figured it out. He knows how to play the algorithm. He knows what people are interested in. And I thought of that. I'm like, oh, like that must open so many doors. It must lead to a lot of things. And I was listening to a podcast with Mr. Beast, and he has actually like reached out to certain production houses, like kind of known in LA, in Hollywood, like legitimate, like whatever. They create shows, and it's very hard for him to get any work with them. They're like, no, like we just don't see it. We just don't know where. It's like, what are you talking about? This guy, which with much less money, much less everything on his own YouTube channel, is getting more views than like sitcoms and shows that you see on like national TV. And they still don't get it. So we're in this interesting time where the rapid change from the old guard to the new guard, it's exactly that. It's rapid, and the old guard is not seeing it at all. They are completely oblivious to it. What they're doing is they're like, hey, our views are down a little bit, but like the other, like whatever, Warner's down, Universal's down. Like, all right, like they compare themselves exclusively to the old guard, not realizing that there's TikTokers out there who put out a 15-second video and will get more views than like an entire season. And I mean, Mr. Beast is a good case, but there's other amazing YouTubers. There's other amazing creators, and they're doing this in such like a bootstrap grassroots effort. And the numbers aren't just proportionate, like they're exceeding it. And like Mr. Beast is the easiest case to just point out of the fact that mainstream media, movie creators and show creators are not talking to him. That's insane. That's crazy insane. Even this, I guess in a certain way, I'm competitive with, I guess like just other news networks. If you look at Fox, CNN, MSNBC, any of them, anyone who has like a business show, in a weird way, you could say I'm personally in competition with them. And their numbers are going to be bigger than mine right now. Between all various places I stream to, it's around 10,000 people. And they're going to have more than 10,000 for sure. But what they seem to not like understand about this is why in the world would 10,000 people be more interested in see what's going on here than like, I guess, legitimate mainstream media? They're like, hey, I'd rather listen to that kid who talks like way too much about duck shirts and is filming himself in his basement as he's sick, making like whatever type of jokes. And they just don't get it. It's crazy. What technology has done for us right now, and like the growth of it, it's so cool. It is so cool, and I love it. And it's, for me, why I get particularly excited about it is because it's so much easier to have a platform right now than it was 5 years ago, no less 50 years ago. And it feels like we're getting to a world where it's harder to contain the truth. And I think that's a good thing. A world in which it's harder to contain the truth can only be beneficial to society. It can only be beneficial to culture. Are there still certain things that will try to contain it? Such as, obviously, you have like big tech censorship. Yeah, but then even look at things like right now on Rumble. It's becoming a very legitimate stream. There's people on Rumble. There's people that enjoy Rumble. It's growing. It just went public. To me, the expanse in technology, in communication, it's hard for people, these conglomerates, to control what they want the narrative to be. It's very, very difficult to contain the truth. And at a certain point, bringing this all back to like what we're talking about, like the apes and AMC and GME, folks, this isn't the first year that market manipulation, abusive shorting, naked shorts has happened, but it's the first year that it egregiously happened, and it also blew up in digital communication. Like I say, I strongly believe with the progress in technology, the interconnectedness between all people, it is so incredibly difficult to keep the truth from the public. And I think that's awesome. I think that's so cool. Joel, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm saving one of my shares for you. Demi, I'm in Twitter. Matt, can you check RSL? Wait, what did Joel say? I think I missed a sad message from Joel. Wait, I'm scrolling back for Joel. Yeah, I'm not seeing Joel. Maybe he just sent a message. Sounds like Joel may have lost a family member. Here are my thoughts, Joel. Happens a lot whenever we get close to talk of working outside the bubble. Then I get weird phone calls from Russian meme farms that hang up on me. We're not on Rumble, we're not on Twitch, we're on YouTube. How about you give it a little refresh? All right, what else? Tim Dillon might still have AMC on his podcast. Might still have AMC on his podcast. What do you mean there? Like, I know at one point he was involved in AMC. Like, you're saying like interviewing the leadership team, or you're saying on his podcast he might have admitted that he still like owns it. Maddie Boomba Latte, can you check RSLS? RSLS, Reshape Life Sciences. So it is clearly like a pharma play that's exclusively sold off. Kinky Kong, I think you should save yourself some money, because like there's just no one's buying this. It's just going down and down and down. I think there's better opportunity in the market. It's not a good day until you say Kinky Kong. Hey, Matt, longtime hodler here, just popping up to say hi. Have an amazing day. Oh, that's so nice. I hope you have a great day. What would I put $1,000 to in this morning? Well, AMC is already bouncing. It's in the green. GME, I guess, is in the red. What would I shop for on discount? Lucid's down quite a bit, so that depends on how much you believe in the SEC probe. If you think it's a farce, that might be an opportunity. I've really been eyeing up Avalanche. Avalanche, ever since it really got going in October, well, it's been going, but I'm saying it took a breather in October, and from October it went from 50 up to 140, and now it came all the way down like pretty rapidly. $80. I mean, and it actually already bounced off of 80. Avalanche I find to be interesting. I don't own any Avalanche yet. As of now, the morning of December 6th, I don't own any. I think that's an interesting one. Like, you could, like, if it goes back to its all-time high at 140, breaks out, like, you're not far from doubling up. I feel silly for missing the Avalanche train. I mean, I know people who got into Avalanche at $4, and I'm just, what was I doing? Watching Mr. Beast give tens of thousands of dollars to small streams live is the most fun I've had on the internet. Yeah, I mean, the content that he produced, it's no surprise that he's at the level he's at. He just thinks about it completely differently, and he makes awesome content. Huge fan. We need to get him to do some sort of like crazy content, like with an AMC theater of like, I don't know, he just buys everyone a ticket, fills the theater, and like gets them all popcorn or something to watch like the new Spider-Man movie. It seems like he is kind of trending over into the world of what's relevant on the highest level. So like Squid Games was a big news item, and then he made a video related to Squid Games. Imagine if he, I don't know, like, so the Spider-Man movie is coming out. Like, imagine if he made like, I don't know, like a park where you like swing around on spider web, and then he buys everyone there like their exclusive like movie access, and like, I don't know, or buys movies for them for a year. Like, I don't even know, because like he's operating on a level that's so big, but I feel like there's something super cool he could do with Spider-Man, of like he creates his own like Spider-Man like jungle gym, and then people check it out, and then he goes and buys them a movie ticket. I don't know. Matt, Joel lost his son and sold for the funeral. I mean, that's tragic. My thoughts are definitely with you, Joel. Definitely with you, Joel. And that's, I don't know. It's a sobering moment to realize that sometimes if your biggest concern in life is that you're red or maybe not as green on your stock position, if your issues are exclusively financial based, or whatever your issues are in life, like sometimes you hear things like that and you realize that you're actually probably doing pretty good. Sometimes that gives you a good basis of, there's people who are having like truly horrendous days today, and it I don't know, helps kind of keep you grounded of what's actually important. I want DFV on Joe Rogan. I think that would be awesome. I don't know if he would. Deep F in value, Keith Gill. He has done his best to kind of like, he's clearly trying to be like a private person, not really doing media or interviews or things like that. So I don't know if he would go on Joe Rogan. I would love to go on Joe Rogan. I don't know if my story is like not as good as DFV's, because like he was the epicenter of like this whole thing. So like that's probably a better story. But in terms of like what's going on with apes and market manipulation, I would love to talk to Joe Rogan. It's just so, that guy is like a mega warship on the other side of the ocean, and I'm like a little speedboat on the opposite side. Like, it's just, to even get noticed by someone at that level, like Joe Rogan pulls in numbers. Speaking before of like individual creators and the numbers that they pull in, Joe Rogan pulls in numbers bigger than actual mainstream media. Like him, Jamie, the remainder of the crew of like whatever they do, to get noticed by someone like that, and like them have interest in the story, like, you must have to know someone who knows someone who knows someone. You don't just like say, hey, I want to do it. Like, it's not like there's just a sign up sheet. Like, it's crazy. Give thanks to every breath, and give thanks for the ability to grow and get smarter as a human being. Shout out. Moon Gang, Gorilla Champ Champ. Hey Matt, been here since early May when I started my knee surgery. Big duck shirt guy. Anyway, what's your fave call options during this time? To play the bounce? That's a good question. My favorite call options. Well, hang on. Maybe we can get some actual, I might be able to do you one better. Let's see what kind of alerts are firing off on unusual whales. We might be able to think about it and get a good play in today. Oh, someone actually loaded up on IWM calls. Wait, what? Not long ago. And someone loaded up on Lucid 41 calls. So the IWM calls was for 2:30 for this Friday. That's kind of nuts. So someone dumped serious money for this Friday into the Russell 2000 2:30 calls. Lucid, someone played the 41 calls at 10:40. So they played this 9 minutes ago. Was that on the ask side? Yeah, that was. What else do we have? Someone also played the QQQ calls. Wait, 12:10. Am I losing my mind? What's 12:13? 12:13. Oh, okay. Sorry. It wasn't for this week. The IWM was for on Monday. So a week from today, not these Fridays. But the Lucid one was for this Friday. So that's kind of interesting. Did it actually fill this gap? Not yet. 44.57. So I guess all of these, it depends on like the time frame you want to be involved in. But between the SPY, IWM, Lucid, obviously AMC would have already hit. It depends on how big you're swinging. All of these, if you want to be involved in a play for like, let's say your max time frame is 2 weeks and you're looking for like a 5, 8, 10% return. I mean, there's so many of those opportunities every single day. Another trade just came through on unusual whales, Pinterest pins. All right, so they are saying this Friday, $39 calls on Pinterest. 39 right there. That's not a bad deal either. So this Friday, they're saying that Pinterest is going to bounce back. I would probably lock in gains at 38, just some support, resistance. Really with all of this stuff, like it does seem like the market is starting to get like a little bit of, I guess, pep back in its step. So I think there's some opportunity to go long, but it's also still a very interesting situation overall. Do not get too greedy. If you're in this, like, don't think you have to get some sort of 800% return in 1 hour. Like if you're messing around, seeing what's going on, 5, 8, 10%, if you lock those in and you do it time and time again, your account will double, triple, quadruple before you even know it. Eight months since I've been out of the running for Employee of the Month. Shout out, Eric. 8 months in. I like it. You can be Employee of the Month here at Space Travel LLC, Space Travel Inc. I think Matt Kohrs would be a great Hot Ones interview. Matt Kohrs Hot Ones 2022. I was just watching some of those last night with Tom and Bert on it, and they were not only, they played Truth and Dare, but on top of that also just ate them, and they were like, they looked very, very hot. Hey, Boo, did anyone watch the Davis versus Cruz fight? The champ Davis was wearing some crypto on the back of his shorts. Oh, boy. Too bad Bitmart was hacked. Yeah, Bitmart got hacked for like over $100 million. That was crazy. Like, it's that stuff. To the onlookers who maybe are like, oh, like, I don't know if I want to get involved in the world of crypto. And then they hear stories like that. Well, obviously, it's disparaging. But some of that stuff is nuts. Check out Twitter Dr. Marco Metzler. Don't know him, but is. Let me find this account. I am a ratings analyst who managed more than 1.2 billion in client assets as CFO of Prisma Life, known for the Great Reset Report and Evergrande. You like his second reply. Now is the last opportunity to sell everything. One exception, go long on AMC, GME, and cryptocurrencies backed with it. My own funds are in my investment firm, FMPC Consulting AG. 2 weeks ago, I went short buying put options on market indices worldwide with a strike price of 50%. That is Dr. Marco Metzler. I don't know who that is, but if this is a real account, I guess he's saying he's short on everything but long on AMC and GME. Someone's calling out SHIB. Crypto getting a little bit of some green. SHIB going a little green. Avalanche going a little green. Let's see if we can make a pattern of new higher lows and actually bounce off of this. Where are we? Where are we? All right. Matt Kohrs, Metzler purchased Evergrande bonds to prove payments weren't being made. Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right. We're actually seeing some nice strength. I kind of like what's going on. I see this strength. I'm particularly interested in that IWM call that we saw. How can you collect your AMC NFT? You just have to be registered on like the Investor Connect thing. Just have to be registered there. What else do we have? So AMC looking solid, up 3%. GME trying to fight back, still making some progress. It's down 2.6, but let's see if this can push above 170. You have IWM and SPY both looking solid. I'm a fan of what we see going on there. So for the international shareholders, is there a way to register? You don't register. You just like click that you own. Like you don't have to like proof. That's the thing is it's like, it's all like self-dictated. Do I believe crypto will bounce back to its all-time high? Yes. I don't particularly know the time frame on that, but the highs we've seen in crypto, I do not think will be like the all-time highs forever. They're highs now, but I think it'll be momentary. Given enough time, I'm very confident all of crypto will hit a brand new high. Hope you're having a great morning. What are your thoughts on Atom crypto and entire Cosmos ecosystem? So I don't know like much about like the tokenomics or something specifically of Atom, but the Cosmos ecosystem, it seems very exciting. More and more people are talking about it. Camille, day over day, more and more people are asking me about it. I would say Cosmos, Mana, Wonderland, the metaverse related things in general, I'm getting way more questions about, way more interest in, I suppose. And if you want to go like anecdotally on that, like when I see that people are interested in something, as I get it more and more, it's like one thing if a person asks about it, but day over day, like more and more people are getting interested in it. And that's exactly why a week or two ago, I was like, oh, I should probably have like a standalone crypto show. And then last week I asked you guys, and there was a huge, huge demand for it. So what I'm thinking about is hopefully by next week, I'm feeling better. And hopefully by then, we'll be able to do like in the midday, like a quick half-hour show of just crypto, like a quick half-hour show of like, this is what's happening in the world of crypto. If you like crypto, great, check it out. If you don't, we're still doing the normal morning and afternoon stream. It's not changing anything besides the fact that I'll be adding on that whole new show. And once again, it's penciled in. It's not etched in stone, but it's penciled in that we'll be starting next week on that. What else do we have? Matt, can you help with this GoFundMe for Joel? Someone in chat is trying to help set it up. I don't quite know anything about it. I guess I would need someone to follow up with me and just like DM me on Twitter for me to be able to help. I don't know the link or the name. I just know the first name. We need an app similar to Acorn that puts your change directly into crypto of your choice. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be very cool. All right, folks, that is it for the morning stream. Shout out, shout out. I appreciate all the support, all the love, all the likes, all the subs. You guys are absolutely awesome. I will be back for Power Hour at 3 p.m. Don't forget that. Set your reminders. I will be back at 3. If you're in the Discord, I'm going to be hopping over there in a little bit. So that's great. If you want to join up with the Moon Gang Discord, it's in the description of the video. That's where we talk about a lot of these other plays. That'd be awesome. That'd be very cool if you want to check that out. But most importantly, thank you for the support. I will find you later on today, 3 p.m. ET for Power Hour. I'll catch you then. Remember, stick to your plan. Whatever your trading plan is, stick to your plan. Create a plan before you do any form of a trade. Please, 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 please stick to whatever your trading plan actually is. And other than that, as always, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets. I'll catch you in a couple hours.